All right, this is part 3 for Tuesday, June 2nd. And I will start with a joke. A boy asks his father at the dinner table, "Dad, are bugs good to eat?" "That's disgusting. Don't talk about things like that over dinner," the dad replies. After dinner, the dad asks, "Now, son, what was that question you wanted to ask me?" And the boy says, "Oh, nothing. There was a bug in your soup, but now it's gone." Cute story. All right. So last week, we looked at a very common phrase in English language, pretty much. A phrase that I told you that I use quite a lot, and most of us do, but that we can say in other ways, and I want to encourage you to expand your vocabulary to find other ways to say some of these very common and overused phrases or words that we hear a lot, and particularly in your writing, because when we write, it's even more important that we vary, V-A-R-Y, make different our word choice, that we don't stick with the same words over and over again, repeating them in our writing, that we show a broader understanding of language. And of course we can use our thesaurus anytime to help in that regard, and yet I think it also helps to discuss it and to get a more comfortable feel for how this might sound and what's appropriate when. So we looked at pretty much. Today we'll look at very much. Gosh, I've probably used that 3 or 4 times today in, when I went out this morning to run some errands and interacted with a couple of people at drive-thrus and things like that. I thank you very much, and just different ways that we might use that. But we want to talk about maybe expanding beyond that a little bit today. So let's just look at very for a minute and at some possibilities that can be used with very. Absolutely is a great one. When you're feeling just certain about something, absolutely, I want this or that, then that can be substituted often for very. Deeply is a really good one. Something that we feel deeply. It's very much a part of our soul. It's not something that we take lightly. Deeply. Highly. If I feel that something is of great importance, I might say it's highly important instead of very important. It is highly meaningful, maybe something that is highly meaningful to me instead of very meaningful. Surprisingly. Surprisingly is a good one when used in the right way, okay? There are times that things are unexpected, and we might say, "Oh, that was very strange," or "Oh, that was very unexpected." And we might want to use, instead of using very, we might simply want to use, "That was surprising," okay? Or something, he or she was surprisingly generous to me today, So instead of very, to use surprisingly when something is happening that we really didn't expect. Noticeably is a good one. it signifies that we really paid attention to something. And instead of saying that our child was noticeably, our child was very sad today, we might say that, our child was noticeably sad today. Something that we paid a lot of attention to, and probably different than it should be, noticeably. Greatly, of course, is a good one always. When we feel something in a very deep way, we might say we also greatly, feel something, we greatly appreciate something, something was greatly important to us, greatly meaningful, and of course just great can be used. Quite is sort of that specific, that kind of all the way there. So if I have had a delicious dinner and I want to compliment it, I might express that it was quite delicious, even more so. We talked last time about pretty much, dinner was, pretty much delicious, okay? Quite delicious instead of very delicious. Truly can be used instead of very. Instead of very much appreciate what you have done for me, I truly appreciate what you have done for me. Okay? So lots of different ways that we can use very, that we can say the same as very. And then for much, we know that we're talking about oftentimes something measurable, whether it's an abstract way of measuring or literal, but a great deal or a great amount. A great deal is just another way of saying a great amount, but it's a common way of saying much. Frequently, we can mean, when we say something happens, much, it happens frequently, perhaps. Exceptionally, large and quite noticeably good and wonderful. Exceptionally. Repeatedly. Happening more than once, over and over again. Often, again, like repeatedly. Extremely, to a very, very great extent. Extremely. Completely, we talked about that one last time. Totally and entirely, okay, to a very great extent. And I just said, I think a couple of minutes ago, over and over again. We use that phrase quite often, as well as the phrase time and time again. Particularly when you want to emphasize the passage of time that something has occurred. Time and time again in history, we have seen such and such happen. That would be another one. There's just so many. I mean, the list could go on, and I don't have enough space, and I don't want to overwhelm you. But there are lots of ways that we can express our sincere feelings about how much, we like or dislike, or how greatly we feel about something without just saying very much. I've got a few sentences. Let's take a look at those. I'm going to drop the camera down just a little bit so that you can see them better. They're down on my lower whiteboard here. So, okay, let's look at the first one. We very much enjoy travel to South America. Now, it's nice to use very much in this way, to put very much as the describer or the exemplifier before your verb. How much do we enjoy it? Okay, we very much enjoy travel to South America. Let's try, instead of using very much here, let's just try some of these options above us, okay? So let's plug in, my little pointer here. We absolutely enjoy travel to South America. We frequently enjoy travel to South America. You can also combine, we absolutely and frequently enjoy travel to South America. Now that tells us so much more than just we very much enjoy it. We absolutely and we frequently. Okay? How about we truly enjoy? It's another one. We totally enjoy travel to South America. Okay? Lots of possibilities here and many, many more. And rearranging words can also help to kind of spice up our writing and our speaking, so that we could change this sentence around. Surprisingly, we totally enjoyed our travel to South America. So you can do fun things to change the sentence up, and with a sort of a transitional word or phrase at the beginning that also is going to demonstrate how much you like or dislike something. All right, number 2. Allie looks very much like her grandmother Iris. We say make those kinds of comparisons a lot, don't we? How much someone looks like someone else. All right, let's try some different words here. Allie looks noticeably like her grandmother Iris. Allie looks a great deal like her grandmother Iris. Allie looks extremely like her grandmother Iris. Now, we wouldn't use repeatedly here, would we? That wouldn't make sense in this sentence. We wouldn't use frequently unless we used it this way. Allie frequently looks like her grandmother Iris when she is smiling, okay? Then, she might frequently resemble the grandmother. But in general, that's not so much of a fit to use frequently, often, always, so forth in this kind of sentence, in this particular way of speaking. All right, the next one, number 3. After my daughter moved to LA, I found myself missing her very much. This is a typical sentence type that there is quite an overuse of very much. Right at the end of a sentence, when it feels like, that's just the obvious thing to say. After my daughter moved to LA, I found myself missing her very much. Okay? I enjoyed the movie very much. We like the restaurant Stony River very much. We very much. So common, so overused, and not as descriptive as it could be, right? There are better word choices. So let's see which ones we could be brave with here. Let's try deeply. Do we miss people deeply after they move away? Yes. So that gives the listener a sense of this is very much on this person's heart that they miss their daughter deeply. What about frequently here? After my daughter moved to LA, I found myself missing her frequently. So I can imagine that that would be my feeling if my daughter moved to LA. I don't see her every day. I would miss her deeply. I would miss her frequently because I think of her frequently, and every time I thought of her, I would miss her, right? So that's an option. I missed her a great amount. And we can use the word huge, large, to a large extent. There are so many options. To a large extent, to a great degree, to a great amount. I miss her to a great amount. Ways that really show more passion of the depth of feeling. And when we're talking about a restaurant, obviously it's easy to say that we like the restaurant Stony River very much, but it's much more descriptive and gives the listener more information. Is, if we say we like the restaurant Stony River totally because they always have the best steaks, okay? So, we're letting someone know how we feel in the big way. We like the restaurant Stony River every time we go, always when we go there. So we're giving a greater idea of how we feel. Let's look at number 4. How very much we regret that we cannot attend the wedding. Okay? We have personal regrets about things that we can't do sometimes that we want to do, or something. We regret things that we have said or done sometimes. So we have strong feelings about that, and so let's strengthen that in our sentences. How about that we deeply regret something? We deeply regret that we cannot attend the wedding. So, how deeply we regret is how that would sound. How deeply we regret that we cannot. Let's see what else might work here. How greatly we regret that we cannot attend the wedding. And if we rearrange words a little bit here, we might do something. We absolutely regret, okay, just by changing words again. And putting our we at the beginning. We absolutely regret that we cannot attend the wedding. So these are some examples for you, and I encourage you to try one or two of these. I always say choose one or two and try them today. Don't wait. Use them at home. Also listening for these kinds of expressions, when you're watching movies and the news on TV, and different ways that you're listening to the English language around you, to try to pick them out and to notice when people are using a broader vocabulary to say the things that they could say with words like very much. Certainly, we'll still use very much, won't we? I'll use it a lot. I use pretty much a lot. And we're going to talk about like, because like is probably the most overused word in the English language. But when we can, and most especially in our writing, to try to use the variations that we can for some of these words to enhance our English. All right. I will see you for the lessons. That will be for Thursday, June the 4th. Take care, everyone.